Check that audio.
Check that audio. Okay, I think I think we're good. Let's see. Let me listen to the feed here.
Check that audio. All right.
Check
Let
that
me let me
audio.
do
Okay, I think yeah, we're
a
good. Sorry.
response to your response. Um, does Tumblr GIFs search just not know who Mark Antony is?
Probably. Or it's been like so corrupted by gay ass fanfics that it's just not searchable. Like that's a
Uh,
legit problem I have when I'm trying to search for gifs on Tumblr is like they're so corrupted by like the inherent evil horniness of every fucking fan base that exists on Tumblr just blows it completely out.
wait. Oh, the black and white version of Julius Caesar.
Hmm.
Is that Orson Welles playing Mark Antony? I
Hmm.
can look that up now.
He was a consul of Rome. He was a
Oh,
consul of Rome.
okay. Here, let me try this. Uh, okay. I think I was finding at least a workable GIF.
Turn down my capture a little bit. There we go. Okay.
Okay. Okay. I think I got you can check
Okay,
out my
here we go.
reblog.
Oh yeah. Just reblog that now.
I'm glad that the Rome show they were like, you know what, we're doing historical nudity in a sense that you're gonna see just as much cock and balls as you are gonna see tits and ass. All right.
It's very equal. Like this is how it was.
This
Everyone's
is just what
shit
it
was
was.
just
Man.
out. Them thangs were thanging. Like it is what it is.
Nobody had like real taboos about it. They wore clothing to be warm,
Pretty
to
much,
be
yeah.
honest. Yeah.
To be warm, to protect themselves from like dirt and shit. Like outside of that, they were just ass out all the time. Double cheeked up on a Thursday, on every afternoon,
Or
actually,
armor,
or
because like
armor,
you're gonna
yeah.
go kill somebody.
But even then, like depending on what you were doing at the time, like if you're a siege engineer and you're walking in the wheel to crank the fucking trebuchet or catapult, excuse me. Oh, sorry, the onager.
Yeah.
You're probably not going to
Yeah.
want to wear much of anything except like a loincloth, maybe. Like that's
Yeah, you
probably
you don't want your if you like fall, you don't want your junk to like dangle into a gear and get ground up,
yeah,
right? So
exactly,
that's why you gird your loins,
exactly.
and so your junk just doesn't like fall into or like get like scuffed up, right? But other than that, like you're probably just fine. Like it's like the miners in Chernobyl, just wearing like nothing but
The hats, yeah.
the hats.
What? We're wearing the hats. I do love that, like, that came out at just the right time because immediately before that, with the conversation they're having in the mining forum, and it's just like, he grabs one of the masks and he's like, do these work? And, like, the one guy, like, shrugs and he's just like, they can be helpful. And they have this whole conversation about how they need these guys. And then at the very end, the mining foreman goes to the mask and he goes, if they worked, you'd be wearing them. And just puts it on the counter and walks away.
Yeah.
And I was like, I think that came out in like 21 or
Yep.
22, and masking was still very much a thing. And people were like, this is also around the time, like, this was post bunch of celebrities and famous politicians going to a social event where they were unmasked, but their fucking servants carrying drinks and shit all had to
Yes.
wear masks. And it was just
So
like, wow.
actually, you know why that scene made it through on HBO
Why?
is because that show came out in 2019 and they
Oh.
filmed and edited it and released it in May of 2019 and yep,
Oh, okay.
they just could not they did not anticipate, they didn't have the predictive programming to be like, oh,
Oh no, we
um
need to not talk badly about masks. Shit, no. Okay, that makes way more sense.
about cloth masks. Now, like the big like actual NBC masks that the guys are wearing when like they go into the power plant, like those do something to a point. They don't do a lot when you're like walking over molten boron, but
Mm.
like they do something to a point.
So
Like
what
you
you're
should be
saying
wearing
is I
them.
can't cover myself in M95 masks and go physically sample the elephant's foot myself. I should not do that.
Um, well, I'm just curious if people really confuse like radiation and viruses,
He
like
didn't
when
say
when
no,
they think,
folks. He did not say no. You will notice he did not say no. He also didn't say yes. He didn't say do it, but he didn't say no. But no,
is
yeah,
there
like
enough N95 masks that you can wear to eat the elephant's foot?
not eat the
Are
elephant's
there
foot.
enough
Just
N90,
go, just get a little bit of it, just a smidge, and just take a bit of it home.
like do a line of elephant's foot?
No, maybe not. See, here's the thing. I just wanted a sample. You're over here like, do you want to eat it? Do you want to snort it? Do you want to boof it? Like,
Oh, what do you mean by sample
do
then?
you
Like you
want it
find a little
inside you? No, I don't want it inside me. I just want it in like a little vial. Just hey, yeah, this is from the elephant's foot in
uh
Chernobyl. Like, isn't that cool? And like, I'm covered in masks, so I'm fine. But the second I take it out, whoever I'm with just melts, like they've seen the true face of God or something, or they open the Ark of the Covenant.
well they need to when they look at it I forget what kind or what the decay rate is for the elephant's foot.
Jamie, look that up. Hang on. Elephant's
Elephant's foot
foot.
radiation. Um Corium.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a real element. Um what the fuck are they talking about? Do they just make it up like as like oh it's a slog of concrete, steel,
Yeah,
sand, uranium, and
primarily
zirconium?
composed of
Oh, they
silica and
call it
uranium.
a new mineral,
Yeah, corium.
corium. That's
That's
hilarious.
that's very dystopian. You're like, yeah, we invented this new mineral. Oh, really? How do you make it? You melt a nuclear reactor down, and then you get corium. And you're like, seems like we shouldn't have any corium at all ever. That I don't like. The little bit we have right now is already too much. But yeah, so it's when discovered
Okay, so it's
radiation levels.
primary,
Good.
yeah, it's primary silicon dioxide with other oxides, primarily of uranium, zirconium, potassium. The uranium dioxide dendrites grow quickly and break down repeatedly. Despite the distribution of uranium-bearing particles not being uniform, the radioactivity of the mass is evenly distributed. The mass was not quite dense and unyielding to efforts to collect samples for analysis via a drill mounted on a remote control trolley, and the armor-piercing rounds from an AK-47 were fired to break off usable chunks.
That's right.
Um, by 98, the outer layers started turning to dust and mass had started to crack. Yeah, because it's basically it cooled enough.
Mhm.
Um,
I also said one of the
and the
more
glass
prevalent.
was failing. Yeah, so it's like an extremely brittle glass being dioxide. Yeah, that makes sense.
Geez. They also said one of the
Um,
main fission products in it was KCM 137. So that's probably another. Dude, there's so many
well,
like I'm walking across the Wikipedia page right now. We have Chernobylite, which is a solid solution technogenic compound consisting of crystalline zirconium, silicate, and an amount of uranium as high as 10%. It's
what?
another thing in the corium.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Chernobylite.
that's fun.
Yeah.
This is good stuff.
Dude, I want
Um,
I want to get some Chernobylite and put it in
so
jewelry.
it's 10% uranium by mass, which is an alpha emitter. Alpha radiation is not able to penetrate the skin. Yeah. You mostly worry about inhaling or ingesting it, which is why you would wear a mask to keep from breathing it in,
Okay, I gotcha.
or and actually I hate to say it this way, but like an N95 is like mildly effective at that. But
Well, yeah,
what I
no,
would really go,
larger particulates.
yeah, but I'd really go for like a real filtration system, not just
Mm,
like a cloth plastic mask, whatever.
yeah.
Um,
Real quick, hello, Missile Launch, and hello, Death Chelada boys. Thank you for joining us.
oh hey, yeah, yeah, yeah. Welcome, boys. The gamma radiation
Mm,
is the problem, and the gamma radiation. So there's alpha, beta, and gamma. Alpha's helium atoms getting shot at you
mm,
um, at really high energy. but they're really big. You know, an atom is large, so it doesn't go through you. The gamma radiation is literally gamma rays that are smaller wavelength than your DNA, and it shoots through your DNA and just decomposes your it's like a laser gun to your DNA.
Yeah, it just
And
it unzips you
and
essentially.
and, and so when you get gamma ray poisoning, what happens is that your DNA and your cells has died. Your cells are still alive, but when they go to reproduce in a week or so, they don't know how to do that anymore, and you just turn into mush.
Yeah.
So
If you
that's
guys have not seen the Chernobyl show on HBO, it goes really well into detail exactly kind of what happens. It's pretty fucking
I mean,
awful.
if you watch it with the right mindset, though, it is the most pro nuclear energy show that there
Oh, it
is.
absolutely is. If anything, it's more
It's
like, hey, you idiots, you're
it's just
ruining
about
this.
how fucking incompetent the Soviet Union was.
Yeah.
How incompetent and like borderline like malevolently evil they were to just like cut every corner at
And
every opportunity.
I do love the constant like the partisan and party shifting and the yes manning and all of that. Like you see it so bad, and just how critically forgot the word bad it is to the whole thing. Because like you have the two, like the president and the or like the administrator and the assistant administrator of the power plant, and they're like in lockstep about what story they're going to tell Boris, who's like in charge of the cleanup and figuring out what the hell happened. And
Yeah.
immediately, like, they confirm there's graphite on the roof, and the one dude immediately turns on the other guy. Why did he see graphite on the roof? Like, it's this dude's fault for not telling him that there was graphite on the roof. And there's just so much of that going on, and it's just so well done.
Oh yeah. I mean, who's the showrunner? He went on to do the zombie mushroom zombie show, the Last of Us show.
Last of Us, yeah.
And I I never played The Last of Us because I watched the Last of Us the movie, which is all the cutscenes ensembled together, and I realized that the game was 10 hours of cutscenes,
The actor's name
and
is
I was
Jared
like,
Harris.
and I don't, and I don't need to watch. I don't need to play a game that has 10 hours of cutscenes.
See, I can't
That's a
even say
movie.
that at all because I love the Metal Gear Solid series, and the strongest running critique and joke is that Metal Gear Solid is basically a movie. Metal Gear Solid 4 especially is like the heaviest cutscene game laden game of the series. Actually, I'm going to look this up real quick. Metal Gear
That's a
Solid.
good question. I would say when I played, the only Metal Gear I've ever played was is five because it came out on PC, and
Okay,
it
you
was
ready?
a fun open world game. Like,
Metal Gear Solid 4 holds the record for the longest single cutscene in gaming history. It's 71 minutes. So that's one cutscene. It's 71 minutes long, which is part of a total of approximately 8 to 9 hours of cutscenes throughout the game. Now let's compare this to Last of Us. Hang on.
yeah, yeah. On the whole, I think The Last of Us
We're back.
Feed that
God
out.
damn it. Ah, sorry guys. We're being sabotaged. They don't want us talking about game cutscenes in length and how The Last of Us was good until they killed off Pedro Pascal. Not that I'm saying I like Pedro necessarily. I'm just saying that Joel was the driving character of The Last of Us, and killing him off in the second one was the stupidest fucking thing Neil Cuckman could have possibly done. And I know it's Druckmann. I'm calling him Cuckman because he's also responsible for, oh boy, Uncharted 4, which is a masterpiece of a game. I love it. I replay that almost every year just because it's fun. There is
It's Naughty Dog, right? Yeah.
Naughty Dog, yes. There is she's like the leader of a private military company called Shoreline, and her name's Nadine, and she's supposed to be a badass, and she has military training, and she has all of this martial arts shit. And I'm not saying that like it's improbable, but she just juggles Nathan Drake, who like over the course of a game is scaling cliff walls and like has killed hundreds and hundreds of people. And she's just juggling him, and then him and his brother fight her at the same time, and she juggles both of them very easily and just keeps going and doesn't. And it's just like, okay, like we're not saying women can't be badasses, but this is not believable how much like just plot armor she has solely for the sake of it's a running joke that they just can't beat her. Which, if that's the point, that's fine. But it's like there's a pattern here with Neil, and all I'm saying is he probably likes to be pegged. Maybe.
Well,
My opinion.
maybe he saw the really tall girl lady in the Resident Evil game,
Maybe.
and it
I mean, that got a lot of
permanently
people.
it just like one shot at him, and he's just like on that wavelength for the rest of his life. He wants a muscle mommy to just dominate.
Yeah. Just broke him.
Uh, shall we move to like main topics of
Let's
the
go to
show?
main topics. Let's get the actual intro going. Let's kick it in. I think it did the intro and probably just kicked out or did the outro. I don't know, whatever. But here we go. Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 190. Ooh, 10 more episodes. Well, what episode 200? Episode 190. We was no kings. In reference to, of course, the No Kings protest that went on Saturday, which I believe Missile Launch mentioned that they protested at like 1 p.m. At
Like
1
1 p.m.
p.m.
and left.
on the dot and then left all at the same time. I did notice weird shit like that. The one thing I definitely noticed that is kind of like I've already reblogged a couple of jokes about it on Tumblr and Instagram. The demographic of those protests was primarily like old white boomers. Overwhelmingly so, in fact. With the exception of like
Okay.
some. What?
They want to relive like the Woodstock
Yeah,
era
man!
or something. It's like their last rally. Like they just gotta.
Literally, they're out there in walkers and shit. Like, I think Frank actually posted it on like his show's feed, and it's just like, we don't have kings in the U.S. or we don't like no kings, and like the lady's just like, okay, Grandma, that's nice. Let's get you to bed. But
I no, I saw a handful. I mean, I live in a college town.
mhm.
If you're in a college town, you will see a handful of young
Oh no, for sure.
progressive
Like
students.
they were out there. That's for sure. Like even
But
in
like, if
my
you can expect a lot of college students at any protest.
exactly, that's just the thing to do for leftists, man. That's like that's also very reminiscent of a boomer thing. Like you'd go out to protest something, and it was literally called a thing, or you go into the thing, or there's going to be a thing, which is very Scandinavian actually. But
Well, I mean, the original meaning of thing is a gathering of the
mhm,
armed men of a tribe in order to decide disputes and to elect a leader for
mhm,
the war band.
exactly.
That's literally what thing means.
Mhm,
And like so we nowadays use things to say, "Oh, can you grab me the thing that's over there?" Like you forget the word for something.
Hmm.
No, but when we say like, "Oh, do you want to go to the thing?" and it's a bunch of people meeting up about political stuff, that's literally the original use of
Yeah,
the word. That's
that
what
is
it's
it.
supposed to be
That is it
about.
right there. uh, but I mean, yeah, there were,
Yeah,
of course, there's plenty of
there was.
college students, but dude, like, even the one in Atlanta was just
Mhm.
like a sea of old white people. They're just. Let me see if I
Yeah,
can
I
find some photos. Hang on.
well, have you seen the fundraising gap in the Democrat versus Republican Party?
I have not.
Let me bring this up, Jamie.
Pull it up, Jamie.
So like cash on hand. Um, let's see. Okay, no, that's like breaking down individual races. Let me see if I can find this
Hmm.
article again. But okay, yeah, here we go. Cash on hand for the Republican National Committee, the RNC,
Mm-hmm.
to elect Republicans to the Congress and Senate. 86 million. All right,
Mm-hmm.
where's the Democrats at?
300,000.
300,000?
No,
That's a
that's
little
not a
low.
real answer. 3 million. 4 million.
3 million? That's still a little low. It's
Mm.
12 million.
Ouch! What happened, guys? The midterms are next year.
The midterms are next year, guys.
What the
And you
fuck,
got a
man?
cash on fucking hand is uh I think somebody should look into USAID because at some
Yeah.
point I think that money was going from uh what was it from the NGOs back through the $100,000 salaries of the people who work for non-government organizations who only get money from the government to do policies that are supported by one single party. And then they donate tax deductibly their taxpayer funded salaries, even though they're not government employees, just to one specific party. Huh.
Hmm.
Isn't that wild?
That is wild how hard that seems to have cut into their funding. Also, notably, again, how cheap and surplusy the weaponry used by mass shooters, quote unquote, has been lately. You know, it's just that's really one hell of a coincidence right there. That the severity in the I don't know, modernity or lack of modernity in weaponry by mass shooters and the Democratic Party both seem to be suffering intently at the same time after U.S. aid was cut. Excuse me. Um, yeah, that's one hell of a coincidence, man. That's all I gotta say. I'm very enthused about that. Oh, what else?
I should have turned off my astrophotography a little bit sooner
No.
because it started to clip into the horizon and it got a little smeared.
Hmm,
And I don't know if I can toss some frames.
there's always a way.
I guess.
I guess
I don't know.
nothing
It
matters. Whatever.
it was it was kind of cool. God damn it! It won't
Hang on.
focus.
Ooh,
But
that is cool.
but
Man, I need to like. Good thing I'm only having one
yeah,
beer.
I was getting the comment that's out. I think my first photo was actually better, but yeah, I'll go put that away after the podcast.
Yeah.
So, um, all right. So the cash on hand thing was like I wanted to tie that into the fact that it's only old boomers who are showing up at these protests. Also, did you see Amy Klobuchar posted an article about how people are um, really suffering from the suspension of ACA subsidies.
Really?
Yeah.
No, I don't think
So
I
get
saw that.
this. Should I don't know if I should screen share this or if I can just read it. Democrats are pushing to extend enhanced subsidies for the Affordable Care Act health insurance premiums as part of the deal to end the federal government shutdown. Wow, that's crazy. I thought the Affordable Care Act would fix healthcare forever.
Oh, you mean it doesn't work without dumping shitloads of money into it? Like, huh?
Um, Middle to high income people in their 50s and 60s who aren't yet eligible for Medicare face the largest increases in ACA premiums if they enhance subsidies this year.
So people who use
This
it
is
more would have to start paying for it more. That would suck.
Yeah, so this is this is due to the reappearance of the so-called subsidy cliff. So, early retirees who are on insurance plans for purchased through the Affordable Care Act marketplace spend upwards of $20,000 on healthcare expenses and insurance premiums in 2023 and 2024, largely due to chronic health issues and emergency eye surgeries.
Hmm.
The couple is on pace for a smaller sum this year, if they're lucky, they said. Next year, the Gauls who live in Meridian, Idaho, are bracing for their cost to grow significantly. Based on figures available through the online marketplace, Bill, who's 61, and Shelley, who's 60, expect to pay almost $1,700 in monthly health insurance premiums if
That's
2026 tax credits expire at the end of this year as scheduled.
that is a lot of money. Yeah,
That-
that sucks.
Yeah, that sum is a $300,000 increase, or sorry, 300% increase from their current $442 premium, and would increase their healthcare expenses by $15,000 a year.
Hmm.
They are one of 22 million ACA marketplace employees, about 92% of all enrollees who face higher premiums in 2026.
So it's just okay. All right. I'm so glad we're bankrupting everything for these people.
The most vulnerable to cost hikes are early retirees, such as the Gauls. They face a bigger financial hit if Congress doesn't act.
Oh, they retired early and now they have to pay more money. Oh, like I really shouldn't be so dismissive of it. Like that does suck. Admittedly, like if you're on a fixed income too. I suppose if you're retiring early, you're probably not on a fucking fixed income
All
as
right,
much.
here.
But
This is where this is what I wanted to find.
okay,
The couple had a modified adjusted gross income of $123,000 and $136,000 in 2024, mostly from pensions because they worked for the state government for their entire career and individual retirement account withdrawals.
so retired, they would have had a joint income of $136,000 a year.
Yes.
I don't feel bad anymore.
that's, that's exactly where I was. I was like, oh my God.
Like if I'm
How,
thinking
how
like
are you picking these people for your sympathy piece? Like
I'm thinking
I'm
like
so
Mr.
sorry,
and
but
Mrs. Jenkins in the old house they bought like 60 years ago and had their kids in, and their kids all moved out, and they're both on like Social Security, and they have like a joint monthly income of maybe like 4 or 5 grand if they've really saved and have some decent benefits. But otherwise, like, yeah, like $15,000 extra a year to those people, yeah, that's a problem. To Mr. and Mrs. Six-figure joint fucking retirement income, no. Like, I'm
and
sorry.
it's a fixed government pension. It's not a stock market account.
Yeah, man.
It doesn't go down
It doesn't.
when the stock market goes down.
Yeah, which, oh my goodness.
Um, yeah, Bill worked for 31 years in local and state governments in Nevada and Idaho, and he expects their household pension of income to know of about $127,000, exceeding the 400,000 or sorry, the 400% threshold for subsidies. Okay,
Hmm.
I guess if you use all the healthcare, maybe you could pay for it.
Exactly, yeah. Like, no, like, oh, we should all pay the same rate so that I can get into a doctor 3 times a month and get 14 different prescriptions for almost no money. And if you want to go in, you have to, you pay the exact same thing as me, even though you go to a doctor maybe once a year for an extremely egregious circumstance, like you were deadlifting and accidentally pinched one of your discs and got immediate sciatic response and it sucked. Excuse me.
Did that happen to you?
Yes, it did.
Oh man.
I had to go to fucking urgent care just to basically get told, yeah, stay off of it for a week.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, ice,
Well,
alternating ice and
I
heat, Tylenol. They gave me like low dosage, some sort of opiate painkiller. They gave me 10 of them, Larzepam or something like that. I don't remember, but I took like two or three, and I was like, this makes me feel icky, and didn't take anymore. So,
yeah,
dude, I don't
yeah.
understand. Like, you really got to have, like, no disrespect to anybody who's gone through like an opiate addiction or is and like needs help. Like, please, we hope you do get help. But like, I can't imagine like that. Like, that sucks. Opioids suck, dude. It feels like shit. Like, maybe morphine's a little bit different, especially if you're in pain. But just taking the pill, it was like I just felt like fuzzy and like in a cloud and not great overall. Like, just
I mean, it I'll be real. Like, I think people who are really into opioids and stuff
mm,
like that, like the harder those things. I mean, even like ketamine or like Molly,
mm.
they do not want to be present on the earth.
That yeah,
You
that's
know,
fair. That's fair. Which
that's the thing. They just are trying to escape. Like, and that is what it's exceedingly good at. If like
mm,
you lean into that feeling, the thing is like. If you're like present and you are like, oh, I enjoy existence
life,
or like I'm clinging to like the physical realm in a little bit or not even clinging to the physical realm. I should say like if you are actualized and you just happen to be in a lot of pain,
mm,
like getting totally into a K-hole or like taking too much mushrooms or doing too much heroin or
acid.
opioids or anything like that. Yeah, acid. Like you're just like, oh,
This is
this is not
scary.
for me.
I
Like
want off
I
the
would like
ride.
to I want off the ride. Like I was in I like I'm okay with like a little euphoria and like seeing some cool shapes, but like
Yeah,
I at a certain point want off the ride.
which is why I actually enjoy mushrooms a lot more than acid, because acid is you buckle up, you're just on the ride, but with like mushrooms you have a little bit more control over like how much you take will actually correspond to what happens to you. So like
Yeah.
you have more control over that. You're way more lucid. With acid, it's just like for like 6 hours. It could be
Yeah.
really fun. You could love it. It could be a great time, or you could
Well,
think there are
that's
helicopters
the thing
outside your house.
about well that's yeah, that's the thing about psychedelics too is that they're like so much longer than any other drug. Like
Yeah,
even if you like drank too much, like in an hour or two of like, oh man, I drank too much and I threw up, like
yeah.
you'll start like your buddy like helps you drink some water or
Hmm.
whatever. They're
You'll go
like
pee
you'll
like
start feeling
twice.
better.
Yeah.
you'll start you'll actually start like feeling better. But it's like if you're like 2 hours into a trip and you're like, I am not feeling great and
Well, that's
like
the thing. Like the first 2 hours still are really like just the come up. Like with acid, for example, you're
yeah,
still
yeah.
up. You're going up. Like you have not peaked yet. So
No, you're like, oh man, it's gonna be tomorrow
this,
when I'm fucking done with this
have
shit.
I ever told you about the one bad trip I had?
I maybe, but I
So
don't remember it
I
offhand.
wasn't
Yeah.
actually also taking acid. This was probably, what am I now, 34? It was probably about 8 years ago. Um, and my sister was dating a dude who could get like tabs. So there are alternatives to traditional acid on the market. So it's not necessarily LSD; it's some derivative of that that essentially does the same thing, but it's not quite the same. It was called like 2CL or something very similar. Oh, excuse me, but it was that, and he's like, it's pretty much the same as acid. And like I had enough friends who were just like, yeah, I've taken 2CL. It's basically the same as acid. Like it does the same thing, and it's like, okay, whatever. So I try it, and it was very potent. And like I remember going up, and I had like a couple weeks earlier, I had taken one tab, and I had a very just pleasant trip. I saw some visual stuff. I made some bratwurst on the grill, and I was outside, and it was very green, and the mustard was really yellow, and it was just a great time. And this trip, however, as I'm going up, I realize, oh my god, this has been like an hour and 30 minutes of going up. This didn't happen last time. I'll be okay though. And the very last thing I remember doing was I had a notebook and a pen, and I was writing, "You're gonna be okay. You're gonna be okay." Thinking, "Oh, sober self will just tell this to me when I'm really tripping, and I'll look at that and I'll be like, all right, thanks, sober self. I'm gonna be okay. That did not help. So I was like, just, just everything is just the entire time. Like I'm getting visuals. At one point, I distinctly remember looking at the ceiling and I was seeing shit, and I was like, all right, I understand every Tool album now. I get it. Like all those, all that cover art, I was just like, oh, that's where it's from. Okay, all right, yeah, man, I see it. I see the faces. I see the tie, the everything, man. It's cool. I get it. All right. Now I want to get off, and it was just like, oh no, man, this is hour 4. You're not coming down until hour 7 at least, and I'm just like, oh shit, okay. And then that was the part where I'm like, I'm on my couch and my sister and her friend are with me and they're like trying to get me to smoke a bowl and calm down. And the entire time I'm just like, oh, I'm really sorry, guys. I'm sorry I'm being that guy. I'm sorry I'm being that guy. I'm sorry I'm being that guy, like over and over. And they're like, dude, it's fine. It happens. Like, it's happened to us before. It's not a big deal. But I'm just like, no, but I don't lose control like this. I'm sorry for being that guy. I'm sorry. And then we're trying to watch like House Hunters on like TLC or some shit, and there was this really weird looking couple, and they just like, no, these people are evil. No, I can't watch this. And finally, like, I stared to
You can
come down.
sense that.
You
You're
can
like a
sense
dog. You
it,
can
yeah,
immediately get the vibes
yeah,
out of
dude.
like
And like later on, I'm finally coming down, and I have this feeling like I've just gotten out of, I don't know, a sauna. Like when you drop acid or you take 2CL, a lot of times when you take psychedelics, your heart rate increases, your blood pressure goes up, your body temperature also goes up a little bit, and like you start to, like with acid especially, it's a thing, it's called acid sweat. And you sweat because your body's just processing these chemicals, and you usually get like a little tingle in your spine, and just like you're just sweating. And afterwards I felt like I had just like run a 2K or something without like the actual physical exhaustion, just feeling just all like sweaty and just like salty almost a little bit. And like my body's like trying to cool down. So it also kind of feels like I had a fever break. And I'm just sitting there afterwards and I'm just like, yeah, I don't think I want to do that again. uh, but there was a distinct part at one point. I was convinced there were like 7 helicopters outside my house, and like the cops and everybody specifically were just telling my mom what I had done.
so I mean I should really one thing that happened for me is that I did some research about marijuana
Mm,
at a certain point, and it really there is a link if you have a genetic predisposition
to
towards
schizophrenia.
schizophrenia
Hmm.
and you smoke marijuana, you will eventually induce that schizophrenia. And I have like an uncle who's schizophrenic,
Oh.
and I'm like, at a certain point, like through college, like I got to, I was like, I enjoy like the first 30 minutes of smoking, and then
Mm.
like the rest of the night, I'm like pacing around the house. Like I cannot deal with the paranoia that like weed was no longer relaxing at a certain
Yeah.
point. Like I'm just not feeling it. CBD does not have that effect on me. I like
Mm.
generally pretty chill when I just have some CBD, but obviously it doesn't have like the same like euphoric like relaxing
It's to be
stuff.
honest, like I've heard it before. It's like CBD is a bullet and like THC is the gun. Essentially, like it
Yeah.
works better in combination with THC, but like the whole point of CBD is a non-THC alternative. So it does, like, it definitely, I've had CBD gummies before, and it's just like a very just
Honest,
feeling.
what I will do is CBD as an alternative to basically like ibuprofen.
Yeah, that too.
'Cause
Yeah.
it's really anti-inflammatory. I'll take it prophylactically if I'm gonna go like on a big like ski tour where like I know I'm gonna be like just trucking with 60 pounds on my back like 6 miles up like vertically like 3,000 feet. I'm
Mm.
gonna be like, yeah, I will not regret having an anti-inflammatory in my
Yeah,
system right now.
exactly.
Like, and I don't want to take a bunch of ibuprofen because it'll fuck with my stomach and stuff like that.
Hmm.
Um,
Also, to give no, actually, that's Tylenol. I was going to say would give you more autism, but ibuprofen's fine. I was going to say that's a
so
good.
okay, I looked this up. It's 2CI, which is 2,5 dimethixol for idophenylthylamine is of the 2C family with psychedelic effects, is synthesized by Alexander Shulgin in his book Fical
That's probably what
in
I had. Yeah,
1991. It's consumed as a recreational drug and circulated as a powder form. It is sometimes confused with other related substances such as 25I, NBO, ME, smiles, or N bomb in the media.
N bomb. What do you take, man? N bomb. It's like fucking, or it's like
We
RoboCop.
got
Like
new
which
synthetic drugs. It's called TND.
TND.
Um, uh, I shouldn't have said that.
That no, I was gonna
Uh,
say that reminds me of you remember RoboCop 2? The drug they had was called Nuke.
oh, sure, yeah, yeah.
Nuke.
No, that's what fucking Trump always calls the N word. Is like
Yeah,
nuclear.
there are two N words, and you can't say either of them. I was gonna say, the marijuana conversation is a good segue into another major thing that happened this week. On Monday, the Supreme Court agreed that it is going to hear a case dealing with the ability of individuals who smoke marijuana, or very specifically, I would say, have medical marijuana cards, and their ability to possess firearms, which right now, the argument is that if you smoke marijuana recreationally, or if you have a medical marijuana card, you are ineligible to own a firearm under U.S. law. You cannot pass a background check. You might be able to, but you'd be lying on the 4473 because there's a specific question asking if you are addicted to or partake in marijuana pretty much in any form. If you answer yes, you immediately cannot get the gun. They don't even usually process your background check. You're out. If you are on some sort of state or federal registry for a marijuana card, that can get flagged during a background check and you will fail a background check. And here's the other thing, if you get your background checked and you knowingly have something going on that you know will make you fail a background check, that's a felony. Which is very much like I feel like it's one of those like extracurricular laws where on its own it'll probably never really be applied against you, but it's something else they can charge you with if they get you for something else. It's just like a little sweetener they can add on top. But I will say in my state, Utah specifically has its own registry as far as medical marijuana cards go that doesn't report to anything on a federal level and is only within the state. And there is a specific provision that was passed that states that the presence of either of having a medical marijuana card cannot infringe on an individual's Second Amendment rights. So if you have a Utah medical marijuana card and you have, for example, a Utah concealed carry permit, these two things are not mutually exclusive. You can have them both at the same time and use your Utah concealed firearm permit to expedite your background check faster when buying a gun, and then you can
Mhm.
drive down the street to the dispensary and buy a fucking pound, and nobody can say shit. Welcome to Utah. I love that. But obviously the state has problems. But that's what's
Yeah.
up in SCOTUS right now is for everybody else, should marijuana preclude you from owning a firearm? Which I feel like SCOTUS is actually going to rule in favor of the marijuana users. Like, just based on how jurisprudence as far as the Second Amendment has gone recently on lower court levels and SCOTUS, I don't see how unless I mean I don't know. You never really can tell. Like
Yeah.
marijuana does seem to be the sacred cow that the criminal industrial complex really does not want to let go of.
I don't see that as much because like
Mm.
they don't arrest and imprison anybody anymore
They
for
don't really.
anything.
They really don't.
But
But here's the thing: if
I would say like they like honestly it comes down to like the gun shops themselves like
mm,
believing that the law exists in a certain way in their state.
mm,
Like that is what actually like propagates a lot of this because like the cops won't arrest you for shit
yeah,
anymore. It's actually to a point that's frustrating. They actually they will arrest you if you ever defend yourself,
Yeah.
but if they won't arrest anybody. Like if you're a schizophrenic homeless dude that stabs people on a train, they're just like, I can't do shit about that. I don't know.
Mike, come on,
Uh,
man. This is the fifth one this week. You can't be doing this shit. All right, get out there. But yeah, if you like, if you if you have a bolt action 22 that you literally only plink cans with, and you happen to have a joint in a vehicle at the same time, you're going to federal prison. Like there's no ifs,
well,
ands, or buts.
yeah,
Well,
I would say what I would hope would happen is that they acknowledge that, like, we've never there's no historical precedent for banning people who use alcohol
mm,
from uh, possessing firearms.
mm,
On, the only like state laws that would go back even to the 1700s were like, oh, you can't actually be drunk
yeah,
and have a firearm in your
which is
possession.
what a lot of states actually do today. Like you can't. Basically, if you're too drunk to drive, they can
Yeah.
argue that you shouldn't be concealed. Jeez, okay, you shouldn't be concealed carrying. Also,
You're not
like,
doing the trick I told you last week. You got to pour the beer into a glass. It won't give you the burps.
I'm sorry, Sensei. Um, yeah, I was gonna
But
say.
yeah, if you were to get a DWI or a DUI,
Mm,
um, yeah, like you shouldn't be carrying.
exactly.
Um, but
Also, some
that
states.
said, like a lot of states, I shouldn't say a lot of states. There's a handful of states, and I don't know exactly which ones,
Mm,
but there are a handful of states where it's like, yeah, as long as you're not actively sitting at the bar, like
yeah.
we won't say like or yeah, if you had a DUI, if you're like actively under the influence, like that's a federal thing at
Mm,
that point, because you can't be under the influence carrying. But like, yeah, as long as you're not actively sitting at the bar top, um, like bellied up to the bar, you can drink at a restaurant or bar, and as long as you don't go past the point that you're too drunk to drive,
you're fine.
like you're fine.
Hmm.
Like, and I'm not saying that's look up your local state law is
Yeah,
what I'm
like
saying on that one.
Utah, for
But
example, is a little, when it comes to alcohol. So in Utah, you can't be at a bar and drinking and also conceal carry. It doesn't matter if you're intoxicated or not. Like it's pretty much. In fact, I'm pretty sure it's if it's an establishment that's primarily a bar. Like I think restaurants are okay, but a bar, if you want to conceal carry, you cannot carry in a bar in Utah, which it's already very restrictive when it comes to alcohol. So of course that's the one thing the Mormons have to fucking cling on to. Yeah, you can't. You can drink a 12 pack at home with your AK, but if you have a concealed carry and you're having a single beer and that's also like this really dumb thing. Like liquor stores are all, of course, they're state run in Utah. In Utah
yeah,
County, they all fucking close at 7 p.m. on the
like
fucking
every
dot.
day of the week.
Every day of the week. They're not open Sundays. None of them are open Sundays. And they all close at 7 p.m. In Salt Lake, there are ones that are open till 10, but that's it. Like, they think the people who are going to go out and suddenly become like criminals if they drink alcohol all come out from under their rocks at 7:05. And by that point, it's too late.
I'll tell you some sort of rough news
Mm,
in your neighborhood. Because my fiance's coworker is Mormon. She's got a lot of friends who
yeah.
are in Salt Lake City.
Uh-huh.
One of their friends, broad daylight, a drunk driver in a truck, like sailed over a median, and her husband of like 2 weeks pushes her out of the way
No, that was
and got
no. No, I'm
yeah
familiar with this story. Yeah, fuck,
yeah
really?
yeah. So that
Oh,
was my fiance's coworker's friend.
oh man.
Yeah, so you know this story.
Oh, I do know this really well. This was dude, it was for me who
And it's in
does
broad
not.
daylight.
It
Like
was in
it was
broad
like
daylight. Yeah,
morning.
there's like if you go, I think it was in. I don't remember if it was in Salt Lake or I think it was made up in Springville. But where he
Yeah,
died, there's a
it,
tree, and there's been a Superman cape permanently tied to this tree. which is
Oh
just like, huh. Yeah, man, it's
no, and
fuck.
they'd only been married for like a couple months at
Yeah,
most.
it was yeah, man, fuck, dude, like,
And it's like, listen, the drunk drivers, like, okay, I get that like you mostly encounter them at night because that's when you're patrolling for drunk drivers.
yeah.
It's hard to catch the drunk drivers in the middle of the day because that's when most of the traffic is, so they get to hide in traffic.
Hmm.
But like if you have a severe alcohol problem to the point that you're driving that drunk all the time and you're going to kill people, especially like pedestrians by hopping over a fucking highway,
Yeah.
you're going to do it like any time of day. It does not matter that it's 7 p.m. or that it's 7 a.m. Like they are going to be that
They're
messed up.
weapons.
Like they don't have control over, they are slaves in the way that Aristotle talked about. Um so yeah, that was one of the things that happened recently. I like yeah, just a lot of mortality around me lately.
Yeah, man,
Um
like, it's, yeah, obviously last year, I mean, our friend Flo, friend of the show
yeah,
Flo, got murdered. Earlier this year, I had a friend of mine in like my local gun circle take his own life. Uh, a week after they buried him, his dad died in a fucking car accident on I
right.
15.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, man. Like, it's just. Oh, and then one of the guys in my shop, his one of his best friends essentially took a medical exit because he had a bunch of health problems, got an infection that his body wasn't able to fight off, and it was essentially like it was going for his kidneys first, and they're just like, all right, so for the rest of your life you're on dialysis now, and he was just like, no, and I guess took the medical route out. So yeah, dude, it's just, I guess this is also
Well,
just an experience of getting older. Is it's just
yeah,
death be
you know more people that die and stuff,
yeah.
but I like I am in a weird spot where I grew up very far away from all of my extended family, and like I
Hmm.
have a ton of extended family,
But you're not that close.
but yeah, we're not that close. And so like yeah, I had a cousin at the age of 6 who died in a negligent discharge
Mm.
from her own brother.
Ugh.
Um, yeah, just they he thought he was playing with a toy gun, like, little 5-year-old kid basically.
Mm.
Uh he died 2 years ago in a house fire. Um and then I had another cousin on my dad's side who died like 6 years ago. Heroin overdose or
Mm.
fent overdose.
Mm.
Yeah, they said opium, like, and I think or it was probably it was probably fent, and they said somebody passed along it was an opioid, and then like somebody told me, or like my dad told me it was heroin because he just assumes all opioids are heroin, but it was probably fent, even though it was like 2018.
Mhm.
And then um and then just today I got the news. Um, one of my like this young couple that's like they're like a handful of years older than my fiance and I. They're like 7 years older than us.
Mhm.
Maybe I'm not sure. They're around 40. They have kids that are like 6 or 7.
Mhm.
And she 6 months ago went into the doctor like faint and like had stomach pain.
Mhm.
Got diagnosed with like stage 4 gallbladder cancer,
Oh fuck.
and it like was not responsive to any treatment, and like is spread to her pancreas and liver, and like they just got we got the email today, like this is somebody like I will see around town like once a month and like say hi to, and their kids have come to like events that I run and stuff like that, and like kind of know them.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's like, oh yeah, she's in hospice, and it's like we're days out, and
Oh
I'm just like,
fuck,
yeah,
dude.
yeah, it just seems like a lot of mortality. in even in just the last few weeks, because that, yeah, like you said, the Utah, the drunk driver in the middle of the day killing
Mm-hmm.
that guy next to the tree saved his wife, which is crazy that you and I both know of this, have the same like small
Reference,
world
point of reference.
sense
Yeah, dude. Like,
reference.
fuck.
Is it's fucked. It's like, oh, I I mean, growing up, like I knew of people dying and passing and stuff like that. Like
Mm-hmm.
my grandparents on my dad's side died when they were really young because they were like chain smokers. They had like died when they were like 60 something.
Hell yeah.
Um so
The refreshing smooth bowl of a Marlboro Red.
they they saved the
Sorry.
taxpayer a lot of money on social security.
Yeah, they did.
But then hey Scoop, um
He just
then
becomes blurry.
like
He's getting
my,
blurry.
yeah, he's just all black.
He get blurry.
My mom's dad like died like when I was like middle teenager age, and then like
Mm-hmm.
just when I was fresh out of college, my mom's mom died. Like she was the oldest one. She's like 96
Mm-hmm.
out of it all. Like wasn't used to a lot of like going to a funeral every other year. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah.
It seems
So
like there are like periods of your
and then
life where that's just
my
what
cat died.
happens.
And my cat died 2 months ago.
Yeah.
So cat I had for 13 years.
Fuck,
So
dude.
yeah, not to like turn everything back on me, but
No, no,
it's
no,
just
no. I mean, like, it's the point, dude. Like mortality, like you said, it's just sometimes that happens. Like you go through periods of life where it seems like it's just all you know, unfortunately, and it's like I said, it is part of just getting older. Like I can only imagine when we're both 70 and we're just hearing all the time about people dying of old age. It's just like, oh, we're still here. Like that was my.
fuck.
Did I ever tell you what my grandma said when my grandfather on my mom's side finally died? So
No.
my grandma and my grandpa on my mom's side got a divorce when my mom and my uncle were very young, and they were apart years. My grandfather dated again. I don't think he never remarried, but he dated, and he was in a couple long term relationships. My grandmother, I don't think ever dated or remarried or had any interest. Like I'm pretty sure she was all about him, and when he left, she had a little bit of like understandably had a break. Like especially back then, that was like you don't get divorced. What's wrong with you? So, dude, get out of the way, man. Like, come on. All right. And so they had always
As I was
still.
pulling in
Mhm.
to the driveway today, the neighbor's cat was standing in our driveway and like ran out across it.
Yeah.
Uh, and the dog just went crazy at it, and I was like, "Don't you remember like living with a cat?
Don't
Come
you
on."
remember these things, man? So yeah, and like I remember because my grandfather would come over and like my grandmother lived with us, and they were always cordial, they were always friends, but like my grandfather would always get a little bashful, like he feels bad about what he did. And my grandmother really did always kind of love him, but like obviously she also wasn't gonna put up with that shit because I mean, she was very, very right wing Christian. Like, there's a famous story about my grandmother when she was in her 20s getting into a major argument with a ferry boat captain because she was openly carrying a shotgun on her way home from an NRA match. And the ferry boat captain was like, "You can't bring this." No, it wasn't the captain. It was one of just the dudes. "You can't bring a gun on this ship." And she's like, "Yes, I can. It's my right as an American." And the captain was like, "Pay no attention to that man. You get on this boat, ma'am. You can absolutely carry." Like he was probably flirting with her or some shit. But yeah, dude. Like I have my grandmother's gold medal in an NRA shooting competition upstairs somewhere. Like she was very, she was Jane Wick essentially. But so my grandfather eventually dies. I want to
Annie
say
Oakley a
Annie
little
Oakley.
bit more.
Her name
Yeah,
was
there
her
you go.
name was Annie, which is better.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah. So she outlived, of course, all of my grandfather's boo things and my grandfather. My grandfather died when he was 94. She went 97, like 3 years later. But
Mhm.
we went there, and it was right. It was right after Father's Day. I remember now. And we're in there. And we're like, "Grandma, we got to tell you something. Unfortunately, David, my grandfather David passed, and she sits there for a second, and she looks out the window, and she's very pensive, and then she turns to my stepdad Jim, and leans in, and he goes, "He had 3 girlfriends after me, and I outlived them all," and winked at him. And I'm just like, "All right, Grandma, you won. You won."
A professional hater right there.
Dude, till the end, man. Just, oh, it's that good old fucking, like, Episcopalian Protestant old school children are neither seen nor heard type of waspy living, you know? Like, oh, it was another story.
Oh.
When she was young, she lived in Baltimore with my great grandparents. And there is, I guess, the major naval base out there was conducting like firing drills, like on a firing line. And she accidentally, when she was like 6 or 7, got through the fence and wound up running around on the firing range. And while they were like doing a drill, and they called a ceasefire, and they went out there and they brought her home. And they're just like, "Do you know where your child is? Did you know your child was running around an active fucking firing range or something?" Like all this shit. And yeah, man, like that's very American. Okay, we segued hard off of whatever the hell we were talking about. What were we talking about?
Oh, the marijuana in the Supreme
Marijuana
Court.
guns, right? Yeah, I. It's funny that like Trump is coming down against this. Like he's got to pander to his fucking faggoty neocon base, of course. So marijuana, marijuana, which is stupid given there were all of this tongue-in-cheek jokes when, especially when he was first running. Like he was like in a limo with 2 dudes, and they were supposed to be like major like Republican black activists or politicians or political leaders or something, and they're smoking probably a cigar of some sort in the limo, and it's very smoky in the limo, and like the joke is that it's like a blunt or something, and Trump was like hotboxing with them. And here he is. Obviously, that could be anything. Obviously, he probably wasn't smoking weed. And here we are, like, we're still coming down on, like, the marijuana regulation, like, legality issues of, like, and you really have to ask, when is this just finally gonna fucking stop? Like, it's so annoying that the fucking, like I said, the criminal industrial complex just still has its fucking claws into marijuana and will not let go under any circumstances. And to this point, it's just like, what are you doing, man? Like, all of these states have it legal medically, if not recreationally. It has proliferated to the point where you can get it anywhere. I, as a Utahn, can drive over the border into Nevada and buy marijuana from a dispensary and get pulled over by a Nevada cop, and the Nevada cop will not give a fuck about the fact that I have just bought weed and have been pulled over in Nevada headed west towards Utah. East towards Utah. They don't care. Colorado is different. If I go to Colorado and I present my Utah ID, it's, "Oh, what's bringing you to Colorado, huh?" Like, I'm just like, I'm gonna buy marijuana. That's what's brought me to Colorado. You think I want to fucking go to Grand Junction normally? No, I want to get the fuck out of here, man. Like, I don't care for the winery. There's nothing else to do. I'm buying weed and leaving. When are we just gonna get over this? And like, I see
Yeah.
this. It's on Tumblr too. Like, I understand if you don't like marijuana personally and you don't smoke it, and maybe you don't like that. You don't like it as whatever. That's fine. I feel the same way about like Molly and party drugs and coke and all of that shit. You can make,
I don't need to ban that for everybody. Like I get that people are like maybe into that scene
yeah,
and they do it, and it's like I might even find it annoying or whatever, but like I just don't care enough to like say like cops, you gotta get those
you
guys.
gotta get those
Like,
guys, man. Like, I just it's so you see it on Tumblr too a lot. Like, a lot of like trying to like oh, marijuana is this evil, like it's morally evil and like terrible, and like it's like so dangerous for you. And at the same time, I feel like I don't know if I've talked about it on the show, but I've definitely made posts about it, where like on the one hand you have people like extolling smoking cigarettes like it's good for you or somehow spiritually, or like it has benefits, like No
Listen, if
disrespect.
you're Native American, then smoking tobacco
Different.
is spiritually and medically beneficial.
Yes, it is. If you are not Native American, however, lung cancer.
Lung cancer.
It's like, for example, I can consume alcohol reasonably, but Native Americans cannot consume alcohol reasonably. They do not have the genetics for it. It
It's
destroys them.
yin and yang.
It's yin and yang, baby. Like, which is why you smoke your cigarette, you soak your tobacco in Hennessy. So you take both the red and the blue pill at the same time. No, but like they will argue in favor of smoking cigarettes and at the same time decry marijuana as inherently like morally wrong or dangerous, and it's just like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, okay, I'm not saying vaping nicotine is a good thing. It is technically healthier than smoking cigarettes. It presents its own issues. There's different things chemically going on, but it doesn't have all of the poison that cigarettes literally are made with and have in them that you smoke. Establishing that, comparing that to, say, cancer rates of individuals who just smoke marijuana, or you can pretty much take anything except for like the schizophrenia prevalence and no, that's really all I can think of. Like comparing like
I
cigarettes and
will say that's like the one thing you
the
need to
one
control for.
thing.
Like,
It's the one thing, and it's such a thing. Like it's not even like, oh, it's like it's immediately. Imagine if you just suddenly got 30 years worth of daily alcoholism just shot directly into your body. That's that's the equivalent of oops, you smoked a joint and you have the schizophrenic gene. Um, Maybe not at the first time, but like quickly, it will happen quickly. Like comparing cigarettes to marijuana or alcohol to marijuana, there is no comparison medically at all. There is no argument that you can make for banning marijuana or heavily restricting it in any way, shape, or form you can possibly think of that you cannot make stronger about cigarettes or alcohol. Alcohol, especially, I feel like is more like of a not apples to apples comparison, but it's more of a congruent comparison where
well, if alcohol does suppress the your reaction time, nervous system,
mhm,
cognitive ability,
mhm,
more than marijuana does.
way more.
You can you can smoke yourself stupid,
You can.
but the thing is, just like you're you're there, you're just like very slow.
Mhm.
Whereas like alcohol has you seeing stuff upside down.
You will see
That
stuff upside down. You will have like you can get nauseous if you lose a little bit of your sense of equilibrium, like smoking too much. But like if you drink enough alcohol, it will make you sick and it will kill you. You can overdose on alcohol. I don't know if it's physically possible to smoke enough flower marijuana to actually
well,
physically overdose on THC or marijuana.
I want to see, since the Netherlands has legalized medical assistance in dying or
Mhm.
euthanasia.
Yeah, why don't they use
Um,
weed if it's so dangerous? Like, just just hotbox yourself to death and just
in
slowly lose
Canada,
oxygen.
right? Like
Yeah,
they both used legalized euthanasia. Like let's see the euthanasia chamber of just like the hot
I
box.
am gonna make that post when we're done here. If marijuana is so dangerous, then why don't countries who euthanize people use it? Ugh.
They'll euthanize you with heroin.
With heroin,
Like
yeah. And then that doesn't work.
in
Somebody will come
hospice
along and
care,
strangle
they'll
you.
give you enough. They will give you a nice dose of morphine that
Yep.
puts you to sleep to the point that your lungs stop
And
working.
you just stop and you go out.
Yeah.
You can't
Um,
do that with weed. I don't think there is a single form like with dabs or like if you eat a shitload of edibles, you can probably
well,
make yourself
I would
sick.
say that's the exception where you can get enough edibles because it's concentrated
Hmm.
and you could like distill it. But honestly, like we're talking about, like we're getting to levels where you might even want to if I was trying to kill somebody with THC, I might have to like IV them
Yeah.
and then like give them like an entire bag of pure THC. Like I don't
Exactly.
know what the volume would
Like
be,
you'd
but
also have to spend so much time synthesizing it. Like it'd be far easier to construct some sort of like Ruth Goldberg machine that would just kill them one day. Just like a series of chain reactions coincidentally going off and ending them, because it's just not comparable. Like I also haven't really heard of anybody overdosing on cigarettes or tobacco necessarily. I'm sure, like I've
you
had a
if
tobacco
you're
high
tolerant,
before.
your tolerance for tobacco can drop off really quickly,
Mm,
or can increase really quickly. But like if you don't use any tobacco, and that's the thing that like blows me away about like the people are talking about like 5 mg Zins and stuff like that. Like you're
mm.
talking about like half a pack in a single
Pouch, yeah.
like pouch.
Yeah.
Um, like if you gave that to a 16-year-old kid who never smoked or never used nicotine before, they will vomit
Oh yeah.
immediately,
Oh yeah.
or not immediately, like in 5 minutes of having it in their mouth, like they're gonna
Mm,
vomit. Like I remember like tried smoking cigarettes in high school, and I like yeah I vomited the first
yeah.
time, and
Like
I was like,
I will occasionally, and by occasionally I literally mean probably once or twice a quarter, will have a cigar in a social situation. And if you don't inhale cigars, but if I have a larger cigar, and especially if it's hot out, or if I inhale maybe a little bit too much, I am getting very lightheaded and just like just real quick from it. It's it's just very different. And oh, there is actually kind of pertaining to guns too. There's another thing. You heard about California trying to crack down on Glocks, and Glocks essentially redoing their
well,
entire line of handguns.
yeah, yeah.
The good news is they're not discontinuing any models exactly. All models going forward are essentially just going to be known as the V series, which have
Until they
essentially
get to like the 6th gen or whatever,
until
but
they get
yeah.
to the sixth gen. But the idea is that you can't just buy a switch off of Timu and just put it on the back of your Glock and now you have an automatic lock. Which it's funny that it's not even really there are that many of these switches out there, or that they can't find the people who have them because the retards are literally brandishing it on social media and putting it in videos and shit and bragging about it. You could go and you could actually just arrest these people, but it's easier to just apparently do this in California's mind and in the ATF's mind, especially because the ATF is, of course, criminally incompetent. But now, going forward, all Glocks have to be a little bit different because of inner city scholars, essentially.
Well, I'm just wondering how they're going to change the trigger mechanism so that you
My
okay,
guess is,
is it the existing it's the idea is like the existing full auto switch that goes in the trigger bar disconnect basically is what it is that goes
mm,
on the back. Um okay, we're going to design around not being able to insert that.
mm,
And I think the situation is that basically they're all the full size or regular size with Glocks based off the Model 17 22s and 9 millimeters and stuff like that that were open bolt guns based on actual submachine guns or whatever, available to the civilian market, that were like, oh yeah, it's just a semi-auto variant, but it's got a fixed firing and it's an open bolt gun, and they were too easy to convert to full auto because all you needed to do was add a trigger disconnect,
Hmm.
and um, those guns were all deemed to be okay. If you bought it before this period of time, you snuck in to the
Hmm.
window and it's okay, but we're discontinuing it for future use. And essentially, these are machine guns legally.
Hmm.
Now, are they going to say that every Glock sold before November 1st of 2025 is a fucking machine gun? And are we going to get amnesty for them?
I see. What's funny is I sold my Glock 19 earlier this year, and now I really regret doing it because not really a regret. Like if I want another like pre V Glock, like there's shitloads of them out there right now. They're not expensive. They're probably going to get cheap as time goes on. Initially, like they might become collectors things, but there's so many Glocks out there. They're so easy to find. This is another thing I actually was thinking about too. This is like a very clear Heller violation. Specifically,
There's not
common
just
usage.
hundreds of thousands of these. There's not just millions of these guns.
Tens
There's
of millions, if not hundreds,
tens of,
maybe, yeah, tens of millions of Glocks in
at least
circulation.
tens.
Like, it is, without a doubt, the most commonly owned model of handgun in the US. Like, there might be close seconds, but it's for sure Glock. It's also, you consider police, you consider private security, you consider previous police and private security who are retired and just carry as civilians. You consider it's Glock, dude. It's Glock. Federal police, it's Glock. Like it's the
Well,
it is common. It is the common bar.
no, it's really common. I think FRTs
Mhm.
are gonna make all of this talk about machine guns totally moot at a certain
Mhm.
point. And as long as the Federalist Society remains in charge of the Supreme Court, like for the next, it's gonna they can't do it. I think they're too conservative in a sense that they like won't rock the boat like that and just say, guess what, machine guns are legal um in the next like year or two. They have to like roll it out basically.
Mhm.
And so like, oh, we've gone from there is a constitutional right to own a firearm in every single jurisdiction of the United States. That was
Mhm.
what Heller said. And then there's you have a right to self-defense in your home. That's what McDonald said.
Mhm.
And then
Bruin was the
um
latest one, right?
I'm yeah, I think Bruin was. Yeah, Bruin, New York State versus Bruin or something like that,
Mhm.
which is basically like, hey, guess what? You have to do shell issue. You cannot have conditional wishy-washy standards for issuing concealed carry permits because guess what? There is a constitutional or there's a natural right to self-defense outside of your home as well.
Mhm.
And um before we get the machine gun case, we're going to have to get a assault weapons case.
Mhm.
And I think there's a lot of test cases that could go to the Supreme Court right now, but again, they try to slow roll this stuff because they don't want to just like in 5 years suddenly make America like totally different. That's like against their inherent philosophy.
Mhm.
But they're going to be like, oh yeah, Maryland's ban on, you know, any rifle that accepts more than 10 round magazines, or California's ban on magazines or something like that. They're going to finally take that case up, and they're going to say, okay, yeah, like no magazine capacity limits, or maybe they say something stupid like 30 or whatever is like the best that a state can do.
Mhm.
Um, and then we'll have like the assault weapons ban where they're like, okay, you can't do like a feature ban, like if it's semi-automatic and it like if it meets the NFA standards, like you can't be more strict than that.
Mm.
And then finally, maybe in the 2040s or 50s, they'll be like, you know what, we were wrong. I think machine guns are allowed. Like that's how a Federalist Society judge thinks. They're like, we can't just immediately go back to 1932. What are you talking about? That was 90 years ago. We need to go. We need to take 40 years to go to 90 years ago. Like, okay,
Sure, I guess.
whatever.
Oh. But yeah, I would say the Supreme Court will probably rule in favor of marijuana users. Trump will. I have honestly no idea how he's going to react to that. Like, I can see him like getting mad about it, and then I could see him immediately pivoting and removing marijuana from Schedule One for whatever reason. But I don't know. Like, it's just one of these things. Obama could have done it and did it. Trump could have done it and did it. Biden could have done it and did it. Trump can do it, still isn't doing it. So it's just like it's fully within the power of the president to just go, okay, this is no longer a Schedule One substance, and yeah, sorry, go ahead.
There you go.
Yeah.
I will say, we are like a year out from the midterms,
Mm,
and we have a Republican-controlled uh, federal government,
mm,
which means that nobody's really worried about gun control right now.
yeah.
Which means that we are at an all-time slump in gun sales,
Oh,
which means if you have any guns that you think about purchasing, now is the time
I
because
was
there
yeah.
are fucking deals to be had on like really nice gear that's
Ooh,
all overstock, and
ooh,
they cannot give it away basically.
mm. Especially if
So
it's a
if
Sig P320.
well, okay, 320s aside, like even if you're like shopping for like boutique ARs, like okay, there might be like a steady market of people who are always willing to pay like $5,000 for an HK, but like you can get very quality components right now for what are not pennies on the dollar, but like would be 50% off compared to what they were,
Mhm,
immediately before the last election. So do not be a panic buyer.
mhm,
Now is the time to stock up on the stuff that you want before the next election.
mhm.
Okay?
I'm actually on
That-
Atlantic Firearms right now, just looking at some of their sales. 6 hour P229, 40 caliber surplus 450. You want a Smith and Wesson 6906 from Training Day, $500. Like, this is good stuff, and this is like I said, it's not like you said, it's not quite pre-COVID pricing, but it's decent. It's not bad.
I
See,
mean, like we're never gonna find like $300 SKSs again.
it's
Like
never
that's
which yeah, unfortunately, or $100 Mosins, which that hasn't been a thing for a while. Ooh, let's do
oh,
it.
Sire. Okay, I went to the battle rifle section
Mm,
on Atlantic Arm. Steyr M1895 Mannlicher rifle,
mm,
250.
mm,
M95
mm.
Mannlicher carbine, 250.
Let's
Are you
go
kidding me?
check out.
For some classic CNR.
Yeah, let me
Um, Enfield rifle Mark threes, 490.
mm.
Iraqi Enfields
Ooh, those have seen some war crimes.
for 490. Okay. CNR eligible. You can get it shipped to your front door.
I'm looking at.
Um,
I'm in H&K Uzi and Mac 10 right now. Hang on. In stock.
SKS is for 550.
Not bad. If they're in good
Hugo
shape, that's
Mausers for 570.
not bad.
What else we got? Uh, uh, Ruger carbine. That's okay. Century Arms 308 G3 Spanish set me 308 rifles,
Mm-hmm.
850
Mm,
for a Spanish set me. Come on.
that's not bad.
Um okay, oh wait, sorry. Set me with wood furniture classic set me, 950.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a Setme. I kind of like it. It's a good rifle.
They are good rifles.
Uh,
I mean, Spitz 308 with enough MOA, it gets the job done.
yep.
Ooh,
Setme
FALs.
L's. Setme L's for $1,200.
Mm-hmm. Ooh,
Or chick,
Atlantic has an entire section of force reset triggers. Ooh. They have AK versions?
dude. I cannot. I want a FRT just because I can have one,
Mm-hmm.
but I also can't afford the ammo
Oh, that's a good.
of an FRT.
See, here's the thing. I could justify it in 9 mil because 9 mil has actually gotten pretty stupid cheap. You can
Yeah, yeah,
go
that's
back to
fair.
like 500 rounds for $85 is now very reasonable at your local gun store. Um,
And
wait, what
uh,
did I say? $85? Not $800. Sorry.
M1 carbines, $1,300.
Okay. Oh, I should have got a grand when I had the chance.
Ooh, okay. BM59,
Hmm?
Italian BM59, the Grand that got adapted to 308 with a grenade sight and a bipod on it.
Hmm.
$1,700.
Mm.
It's not too much. Anyways,
It's not very much.
um, Springfield 1903 A3 with a new barrel,
Hmm.
$1,500. Okay. FAL, 1,500. Okay. Springfield M1A is 1,500. Um, PTRs.
We got Browning High Powers for about 800.
Steyr AUG A3M2 with
Mm.
NATO mag, $1,700. I think you can get AUGs a little cheaper than that, but maybe not. I know I'm not sure. Um, what else is there around here? Some fouls. We're getting to the $2,000 range.
Hmm.
Um,
Well, yeah.
PSA foul.
To go back to it before we like both get lost looking through fucking catalogs. Now is the time, especially during the holidays this year. There's going to be a lot of sales kicking up because it has been slow. Nobody's worried about gun control, like you said. Now is the time, guys. Get out there, get some ammo. I This would be a great time, especially later in the holiday season, for me to finally get a shotgun. I'm still kind of undecided. It's either going to be, like I said, a Benelli M4, or I have kind of been eyeing the Langdon Beretta 1301s. Those are also really nice. This is higher end, of course, but it's like, maybe now's the time.
Okay. I did not realize this was happening.
Mm,
Let me put this on your radar.
okay.
Atlantic Arms has SIG PE90Ps, which is essentially their the Swiss AK.
Really?
Um, what what is the what do they call it?
The E90P, you said?
The SG 550.
Oh. Oh, hold on.
I I I know these. This sounds expensive, but it's expensive because they've been impossible to
Oh.
get until now.
Oh.
SIG
Oh.
550s
How
as
much?
for sale, imported as pistols, but they have a 20-inch barrel,
Okay.
no stock, so you can SBR or you would just add a stock at because you
Mm-hmm.
as a private individual, I think, can do that.
Mm-hmm.
$5,200 for a SIG 550.
Wow. Wow. Whoa. Okay, yeah. All right, that's cool.
I did not realize that we were importing 550s. Now, one thing to note, I'm very curious about the receivers on these because all 550s were made originally as full auto,
Mm-hmm.
and to my knowledge, to import them into the U.S., you would have to remake the receiver to import them,
Mm.
and I don't know. Made by the Swiss Armed Forces for civilian use. The PE stands for Privaten Einsatz, which translates to personal use. Um, it's a sporter semi-auto pistol imported from Switzerland. These models are highly coveted. Features 20-inch barrel, rotating bolt, long stroke gas, vented hound guard, integrated bipod, HK diopter rear sight, last round bolt hole bit, and right side charging handle. Trigger guard can also rotate outward for winter gloves. Polymer furniture, 10, 20, 30 round polymer magazines, pistol grips for storage. Um, yeah, it here's the thing, like it's really expensive,
Hmm.
but it just literally did not exist. I don't know when they got these.
That's
Um,
interesting.
but okay, so these are the militia versions. Essentially, when you're a Swiss civilian, you can purchase a, a semi-auto only version of your military rifle for use in the reserves or for shooting competitions and stuff like that. And
Hmm.
now they're getting surplused out, which is dope AF.
Very cool.
This is I'm sorry to nerd out about the 550 in particular, but
That's
that
okay.
is like an object of desire for me because it is essentially a Swiss-made AK. It's a long stroke gas piston, rotating bolt. Imagine an AK made by Rolex is what
Ooh,
we've got going on here.
ooh.
Um,
You should. You would be a good gun salesman, dude. Just
okay,
throwing that out there. Autism sells things, man.
all right, all right. Well, we should wrap it up here.
We
It's been like an
should.
hour and a half.
It has. Wow. All right. Cool. Ladies and gentlemen, let me check the chat one more time. Oregon just banned them. Should have bought when they came out. If the receivers take Stanak, then maybe with the mag sack. Eh. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us for another lovely episode of the Alter Podcast, where, like I said, we were going to be talking about other random shit. We had no idea what it was going to be. That's how it goes. We will be here, same time, next week, talking about whatever the fuck happens to happen between now and then. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, we hope you stay safe out there. We hope you have a good time. We hope you have a good weekend. And of course, taxation is theft.